Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle, the podcast that challenges conventional education and invites families to redefine success on their own terms. If you're ready to break free from outdated systems and embrace a life of curiosity, connection, and true freedom, this is your space. Join us as we explore real stories, practical insights, and inspiring conversations that empower you to trust your instincts, partner with your children, and take the path of least resistance toward the life you've always dreamed of. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle. This is a solo episode, and it's just a little update on how our quarter a year has been going. Late last year, we came up with this phrase of no commitments, just experiments, and allowing ourselves to pivot from different activities, perhaps rhythms or schedules that may not be fitting with our family. So the experiment for me was that I have loved books my entire life, and I love buying and reading books. I love the aspect of a bookshop. One of my dreams is to actually own a bookshop, and I love just buying books. I find that the books that I go back to are the ones that I like to keep. I don't always read books twice, but I actually love going back to them and do research for different reasons, because every time you read a book at one period in your life, it will mean something different in a few years or however long you wait to reread it, right? So I really love that. So one day I used the app next door, and I just posted there that I had a dream of opening a bookshop. If anybody knew of an opportunity, a person, a space, I wasn't sure I was ready for a full-blown bookshop, but I just felt like I wanted to put it out there into the universe. And a lady replied, and we began our conversation. We met at a local cafe, and we connected over our different experiences and just how much we love books. So after months, this happened back in, I don't know, December, maybe November, actually, November 2024. After months, today we had our first booth at our local farmers market, and it was such a nice experience, I have to say. It was beautiful. I took an overflow of books that I had listed at our online bookshop. So I started an online bookshop over at Pango. You can find us at the Unschooling Lifestyle Bookshop. And we are concentrating on sharing the books that have made an impact in our journey as far as parents, unschooling, and human design. But right now, it's what I have is some of the collections that we have accumulated and that are ready for a new home. So you'll find those books there. And then I took some of that inventory into our farmers market, and it was mostly children's books. I took some parenting books there, and I took some other little bears that I had accumulated because I love antiques. I love anything vintage, anything with a story, really. If I can make a connection with a story, then I connect with the item as well. So my husband stayed home with the boys, and I loaded up early in the morning with my 2 bags, my generator, my little wagon, and off I went. And it was such a beautiful experience. I got there at 6. I think it was like 6:30, close to 6:45. And then I started setting up my books. We had a partner, so it was a booth. It was in a U shape, and we had half. And the other lady, her name is Daniela, and her husband Albert had the other half, and they had such cute little items, teacups, really vintage stuff. Market has a vintage feel. So there was a lot of people that were coming in with like big pieces, big benches made out of wood. There was a butter churner, all kinds of stuff that you could find there. And what was interesting is that everyone knew each other. So thankfully, my bookshop partner, she knew a couple of the people that were at the market. So I got introduced to them. And then I introduced myself to Daniela, and I started asking her questions about her journey. And I got the whole information about the flow of the market goes, like the type of the crowds, the times that it's busiest, and how, I don't know, there was just throughout the day, we had a beautiful conversation about her journey and the paintings that she likes and how, she goes all about her business. This is mostly a hobby for most of them, actually. So Most of the people that were there, they were retired. Some of them had been going to the market every Sunday for the last 10, 15 years. I think one of the ladies said 30 years or something. So, I mean, it was really incredible to be able to see that. And then our other partner, so next to us, the booth next to us was a crystal booth. And I have seen that booth quite a bit because they're a local, a regular rather, at the Royal Oak Farmers Market. And surprisingly, this is the lady that I will be hosting, or I will be doing a human design booth next weekend. So I got the opportunity to meet her and share a little bit about myself. And we talked about the event that's coming up for next weekend. So that was pretty cool. And then I got to talk to all kinds of people. I got to talk to a guy that had a gaming booth, and he had all kinds of gaming memorabilia. Some of it was new, some of it was older. He had Nintendos, Ataris, Zelda. So we talked about that. Then I got to talk to Jeremy, who had a booth with very cool Detroit vintage style stuff. And then some of our customers, they were just coming to browse, but they already had bags that they had purchased. So me being so nosy, I would be like, well, what did you get? And they would be so excited to show me. So it was really cool. And then in our Nextdoor app, I posted kind of like an update as to how we met and we decided to do this together. So I posted an update how we were finally at our first booth with our bookshop. And then one of the next door neighbors, he wrote on a post and said, congratulations. And he said, I'm heading over there. So he actually came over and spent some time with us, and just we got to talk to him, and he brought a book about comics. So he was going to take it to another booth that specializes in comics and see if they could sell it for him. Kind of like a little bit like a consignment. So that was super, super cool. And as you may also know, I work for a local airline, and I flew yesterday. I did a Vegas turn. So I went to Vegas and I came back to Detroit, and my pilots were based in LA, and they had a long layover in Detroit. So my captain asked me, do you have any big plans for the weekend or for tomorrow? And I said, well, I'm doing this booth. I've always wanted to open a bookshop, and I'm doing this booth at this market. And I was just walking around, doing the rounds, checking other people's stuff. And I saw him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you came. So he said, yeah, I was kind of bored. And I remember you told me about this. He took the bus from his hotel to the market. Like, we just kind of chatted and we talked about his experience. He actually was a flight attendant before he became a pilot, and he did it pretty fast. So we kind of, just kind of bonded over aviation and our journeys and stuff like that. And what else? I feel like I talked to a lot of people, and they all had different stories. So one of the biggest pieces about unschooling is how we enjoy our life as parents. And when I came home, I was able to tell the boys I had such a good time. I sold 5 books.
Hey there, I'm Anthony, and I'm excited to tell you all about the Alternative Education Resource Organization conference this year in New Hampshire. It's all about self-directed education where kids can learn in ways that make sense to us. At the Aero Conference, families can be awesome advocates and connect with others who believe learning should be fun. There will be games, workshops, and new friends to make. So bring your whole family and join us. Let's support our unique learning adventures together. You can register at www.aeroconference.org. See you there.
I sold a Picasso book in Spanish. I sold 2 drawing books. I sold a little baby book, Easter book, and I sold one of the parenting books that I have, The Hunt Gather Parent, which I recommend. I highly recommend. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it because it really brings our role as parents back to the roots of community, back to the roots of supporting each other and holding space for our children to be able to learn through experience and not just us parents doing everything. So that's one of the arguments in the book, is that in Western society, we are tasked with doing everything for our children, and we don't hold space to do things with them. And kind of how after we are constantly saying, no, 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 let me do it for you. No, let me do it for you. Or just please, I don't have time for this to wait. Then they stop asking. My oldest does now, but I feel like at the beginning, he really felt like he wasn't welcome in those environments. And I was part of it, right? Because I didn't really wanted to have the time to hold space for him. So yeah, so far the no commitments, just experiments is working out great because this booth was just for today, so there's no long-term commitment. I can go back to the market and say I want to be part of it, which I think I do, but I think I'm only going to do once a month. And I get to have my own bookshop. I get to bring books to the market. And the best part, I get to collect more. I don't know. So far, that's kind of where we're at. So, no commitment, just experience has been really, really good because we have the liberty to pivot from where we're at and following just our instincts. So, and it has been really nice sharing with the boys the whole bookshop dream that I've always had. So they help me take pictures to put on online, on the website, and then I got their help as I prepare for this event, which I find that there is quite a bit of preparation. So yeah, so I don't know. It's just been really nice to share in that with them and to know that I am pursuing something that I'm really passionate about, and they're getting to see that that is the key. That this is something that I'm passionate about. I'm not putting that on them, but they get to see what that looks like. So it's been pretty cool. And for now, the next event is a very specific event. So it's a more spiritual, holistic event. And I will be doing human design readings there, which is also new. I've never done anything like that in person. All of my human design work has been online. A little intimidating, I guess, because I will be with a lot more people and it feels like maybe fast, but I think it'll be okay though. So stay tuned for that. But it really falls under the no commitment, just experiments. And that's what that fair, it's going to be just an experiment and see how that feels. For now, I know this felt super good. So I think it's something that I want to pursue. And maybe eventually that this will lead into a more permanent space to where I can have a bookshop because I really enjoy hearing people's stories. And I think that's why I've always wanted to have a bookshop because I just wanted to have the books and I wanted people to come in and tell me all of their secrets. I am not a small talk type of person. When you meet me, if we ever meet in person, I want you to say, my name is so and so, and here are my secrets. These are my secrets. Like, just give them to me. So the small talk is not, I'm not the best at it too, actually. I get pretty uncomfortable with it. But once people started sharing their story, it was so in depth. It was so in depth about what they bought, why they bought it, their passion, and that I know it has made a big difference. Yeah, so this is it. So as you experiment, if you are in the moment of unschooling, transitioning into unschooling, homeschooling, seeing what you're passionate about and trying to bring that into your day will completely enrich your journey. Your cup is going to be so full that you're going to be able to hold space for anything that's happening without, I don't want to say without losing it, but I feel like in the past, it was quicker that I would be like at a frustration level that would not be the best. So I wasn't able to hold space. I find that being fulfilled as a person has given me the ability to also hold space for anyone in our house. So yes, and if you have any questions, we are here for you. We have episodes that are designed to share people's stories as to how they have gone through different facets of their life and different facets of this transition of living in partnership with their children. So I hope you get to listen to them. For now, that's really what we're working on. Really, there's a couple of new episodes coming. They're coming to life at some point, and I'm leaning a lot more into my network. We will be doing a presentation at the Aero conference in June in New Hampshire. And I'm really excited because it's about unschooling and human design. Enjoy the spring and this beautiful time of creation that is upon us as all of the nature begins to show their beautiful blooms. The weather is changing. I hope wherever you are, you have beautiful weather that you can step outside and enjoy the beauty of being in nature with your kiddos, with your partners, and with all the people that really, really bring you a sense of peace and satisfaction to your life, because this life is so short. With that, I leave you. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. If you would like to share our work, I would also appreciate it, as it helps us grow and share this way of life with our kiddos, which is very unique. It takes some time, but I would not have it any other way. So I love sharing with other people. And if you would be so kind, subscribe to our YouTube channel or just simply leave us a review. That would help us appear on other people's search if they are searching for podcasts like this that are towards families and being a gentle parent, a conscious parent, and overall an alternative way of education. So thank you once again. Please remember that your time is precious. I hope you're making it count. Take care.